Ramadan, 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 Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It was mentioned in the Quran in Surah Al-Imran, verse 190 to 94. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inna fi khalqis samawati wal ard wa ikhtilafil layli wan nahar la ayatin li ulil albab alladhina yadhkuruna Allaha qiyaman wa qu'udan wa yatafakkaruna fi khalqis samawati wal ard Rabbana ma khalaqta hadha batila subhanaka faqina adhaban nar. And it was also mentioned in the Quran in Surah Yunus chapter 10 and verse 5. It says that وَالَّذِي جَلَى الشَّمْسَ ضِيَاءً وَالْقَمَرَ نُورًا وَقَدَّرَهُ مَنَازِلَ لِتَعْلَمُوا عَدَدَ السِّنِينَ وَالْحِسَابَ. And there is also an ayah, الشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ بِحُسْبَانٍ. That is in Surah Al-Rahman, chapter 55 and verse 5. As-Samsu wal-Kamaru bihusban. I will be discussing the moon sighting, about the heavenly bodies. And I prepared 10 questions, and I may mention it and answer it. First question is that, what is solar calendar and what is lunar calendar? What are the different and what are the similarities? Solar calendar based on the sun, the movement of the sun, as the earth revolves around the sun. Lunar calendar is based on the moon, the circulation of the moon around the earth. Solar calendar is 365 days, except leap year, 4 years. It's 366 because of February, 28 days, it makes 29 days. And why? Because every year the exact revolution or circulation of Earth and the Sun is 365 days and 1/4. I should say 6 hours. 365 days and 6 hours. Now after 4 years, leap years, it is 366. Now, in lunar calendar, 354 days. And every 3 years, it's +1, because the total of circulation or revolution of the moon around the earth is 354 days, 8 hours, 48 minutes and 28 seconds. The also difference is that the lunar calendar is used in a spiritual calendar. Spiritual calendar because it is used by Islam and spiritual practices. Also the Jewish, also the Yahudi and the Chinese and the Hindu. While the solar calendar, it is used by the government and a political date. Now, the similarities is that it's all in 12 months. Unlike the calendar of Egyptian, that it is 19 months times 19 days, which is equals to 361 days. But it was mentioned in the Quran is 12 months. Inna iddat ashur indallahi 12 shahra. What is moon sighting and why there must be a moon sighting for the Muslims? Moon sighting is watching the moon carefully. It is very, very important in the Muslim or the Islamic religion because that's the start of their fastings in the month of Ramadan. So moon sighting in the Muslims area is very, very important to them to start their 1 month fasting in the month of Ramadan. Where and when? The place must be in the suitable places that where the sunset is very, very clear. And when? It must be on the 29th day of the month. Why not 28? No, because cannot be seen. And why not on 30? No, because it will be seen. So the Prophet Muhammad says, "As-shahru marratan, tis'a wa isrin wa marratan talatin." That's why we are required to sight the moon every month, to know the beginning of the month, and to count up to 29 to another moon sighting, to know if this coming day is this present month is 30 or 29. No. In this moment, in moon sighting, there are conflict or contradiction between Muslims. Some others say that I saw the moon. Others didn't say, no, I didn't see. Others, why not to follow the other countries? They said, no, I will not follow. So that's the problem. So, if that will be the problem, I know that this contradiction in moon sighting, sighted or not sighted, follow others or didn't follow others, where do you belong and why you belong to that group, and give me a dalil. In Islam, when there is a problem arose, a conflict or contradiction, the Quran says, فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, which means that you have to go back to the Quran and the Hadith, the tradition of Prophet Muhammad. Now, if you see the Quran, it says that As-Shams wal-Qamaru bihusban, which means that the sun and the moon is calculatedly. Now, because it is calculatedly, so you have to introduce this calculation so that there will be no such a moon fighting. Instead of moon sighting, a moon fighting happens. Allah created this astronomy to give us an idea where the moon is, what degree, and the south and the north, and everything. It is tafsil by the astronomy. Yes. Oh, why should I follow astronomy? That's a question. No, you have to follow the astronomy because it is not haram. The haram is astrology. Why astrology is haram? Because it is a fortune teller, and a fortune teller is a haram in Islam. Yes. While astronomy only studied the science that studied the movement of the earth, the sun, and the moon, and the stars, and other things in the heavenly bodies. Is this sunnah? Because you follow this As-Shams wal-Qamar bihusban? Yes, it is sunnah because I follow what is in the Quran. As-Shams wal-Qamar bihusban, which means that the sun and the moon is calculatedly. See, we calculate it in the coming of Ramadan. And that is in the Quran. While in Hadith, the tradition of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it says, "In gumma alaikum faqduru," which means that when it is cloudy, covered by clouds, you have to calculate it, you have to estimate it, or you have to calculate it. And that's where I stand, and the other of my group. Now, is it not bid'ah? No, it is not bid'ah, because bid'ah defines al-ihdas fi din. Remember the word al-ihdas fi din. You introduce a new one in the principles of Islam. Let us say the five pillars of Islam. Let us say the prayer time in Maghrib. You introduce it and you make it 4 rak'ah. It is haram. It is bid'ah. Or you make the Aisha 4 rak'ah, then you make it 3 rak'ah. That is bid'ah also. You made something into Islam, or the 5 pillars of Islam. So that is bid'ah. Al-ihdas li din. Binago para sa kabutihan ng Islam. Halimbawa, the airplane was made for the pilgrims, easier for them to go to Makkah. It's easy for the pilgrims to go to Makkah. That's why the airplane was created for the Muslims. Also, the cell phones, television, it was created for the Muslim to communicate each other, and we say that Ramadan is started now because the Moonsighting committee announces that the moon was sighted, and they use it in a gadget or any instrument, and it is allowable in Islam to use this instrument like the telescope. I will show you some things that the moon cannot be seen clearly because it was covered by clouds. But if you use a telescope, you can see it very, very clear that the moon is there in the clouds. And you closer it, more closer, and you will see that very, very clear that the moon is there. That's why Prophet Muhammad says, "Faqduru." You count it, and to be sure, you use telescope, aside from counting or computing. And we are on that side, and my kasama or my men and the Imam Council of the Philippines and the Agama Islam Society. Well, further explanation in the Moonsighting about the Ru'yat al-Basariya and Ru'ya al-Miya. It was mentioned, discussed, I should say, in Al-Azhar University. They have the fatwa on this Ru'ya Basariya and Ru'ya al-Miya. Ru'ya Basariya is by a natural, by your eyes, sighting the moon by your eyes. While al-Miya is you have to forecast it. Basariya is eye-sighted, while al-Miya is foresighted. For your future, your planet, or a vision. That is the difference between al-Miya and Basariya. But if you'll see the hadith, Sumu li Ru'ya, it only says, it's a plural, Sumu is a plural, and li Ru'ya, and the Prophet Muhammad never says that bil ain. So it means that the coming generation or the coming era, there will come an instrument to be used by Islam. That's why the Prophet says only Sumu li Ru'ya. Bil ain, no. He did not say bil ain or bil basar, no. Or did he say ilmiya or no? No. Because he knows that that ilmiya or knowledge will come. So, myself, I believe on this using instrument, because this instrument was invented, pinagawa ni Allah para sa ating mga Muslim para mas madali ang ibadah natin. That is it. Now, another question is that I heard that about the moon sighting of Quraib and Ibn Abbas. Yes, at that time, kung alam lang nila Abbas at saka si Quraib na magkalapit lang, they are in only 3 degrees in longitude, ay paglabas ng araw, sunrise or sunset sa Madina at Dimas ay parihong-pariho. It only differs in 35 minutes. Like Marawi and Manila, it only differs 25 minutes. Yes, 25 minutes only. Because the degree also is 3 degree. Pwede basarya at hindi mo nakita, ilmiya ang gamitin mo. At pwede yun. And in moonsighting, we have to consider the 2 era. The primitive era, no technology, and a modern era now with high technology. And of course, the area to be considered, like Medina and Damascus and Medina, like Manila and Marawi. Kasi sa totoo lang, magkaiba ang paningin ng mata at saka paningin ng kaalaman. I will give you sample which was mentioned in the Quran. It says, Rabbul Masrikain wa Rabbul Maghribain. The Lord of 2 sunrise and 2 sunset. And you will say, oh, 2 sunset, 2 sunrise, impossible, but I see it in my eye that it is only one sunrise and 1 sunset. And why it is 2? So, it says that 2 sunrise because summertime it's there and winter time it's here, and that is 2 sunrise and 2 sunset. Rabbul Masrikain wa Rabbul Maghribain. And also in Surah Yasin in 38, which says that As-Samsu Tajri li Mustaqarillah. As-Sams Tajri li Mustaqarillah. The sun runs. Ang tingin mang mata sa araw ay siya ang tumatakbo, umiikot sa mundo. Umiikot sa mundo. Pero dahil sa kaalaman, it was known na itong globe pala, itong tinitirahan natin, this earth, ay bilog, ay siya ang umiikot at naglilibot. It rotates and it revolves around the sun. So, paningin yun ang kaalaman. Kaya mas maigi yung kaalaman kaysa yung paningin ng mata. Mag-moonsighting tayo, limitado ang mata. Pero kung kaalaman ang gagamitin natin, nandyan yung buwan. You say? And the Quran says, please bear in mind this. This is the closing remark. Ang sinabi sa Quran, Fas'alu ahlal dhikrin kuntum la ta'lamun. Tanungin nyo ang nakakaalam para ma-explain sa iyo. Hindi kayo ang gagawa itong decision. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ramadan, 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 Ramadan.